Alrighty, so this is going to be my Deku tree cutscene skip and the leaf hover tutorial. I decided to combine them just for the heck of it. They're like back to back in the run anyways, so might as well. I'm going to follow a similar format to my other tutorial. Just going to kind of like pause and run through the motions and then maybe just show it all at the end. I'm going to show the cutscene skip first, obviously, then the hover after. Got some bullet points on the side, but I feel like I'm going to try to explain this one more thoroughly because I feel that it's harder to fully cover everything in just text in this one. A visual aid definitely helps here, so we will continue forward. Okay, so basically, some things I'm assuming you know is that you know how to do storage. I think that's all you really need to know how to do, and I guess later on you know how to zombie hover, I guess, because it's a hover. But yeah, if you don't know how to get storage, probably go start there, and then come back to here if you want to learn this trick. This is basically just skipping the cutscene that starts when you kill all the chews, because that wastes a lot of time, and it's kind of dumb. Small note right here before I get into the entirety of the thing. If you notice here, I'm gonna like jump further to the left. I didn't have to go that far. That's kind of just bad by me. But I find that I don't know if this is like direct cause, but if you jump onto it like right here, you'll still get like the water particle effects on Link when you climb. You get like the weird particle effects that come off of him from the water. And when you do that later on, when you go to this edge over here to get storage, those water particle effects will also appear when you climb that ledge, and it kind of makes it hard to like see in time for me for the storage. So if you'd like to also not have those water particle effects on you and like mess with your flow, just like jump over here real quick. Pretty sure that solves it. I don't really know why that happens. It's kind of annoying. Yeah, so go start the cutscene. You need to start this cutscene to do the next thing because you need the chews. And if you don't got no chews, you can't do it. So yeah, you do that. And as the first bullet point states, you want to get storage, bonk the tree, and get storage again. Because you need storage for the skip. Like the skip part of the skip where you actually do the cutscene skip. What the first storage does is when you bonk the tree, it puts the chews into some weird state where they're kind of like invincible and you can't kill them, but they don't move, and you can push them out of bounds. And it's really important when it comes to timing the crush later on to skip the cutscene, because you couldn't do it otherwise. So basically, once you get storage, you want to bonk to put them in this state. And as shown by my beautiful gameplay, you can miss sometimes, so try not to miss. And get storage again. Big thing is if you're late, when you do this, if you take too long, a coral gossip stone text will come up. Try not to accidentally store that with your second storage in accident when you're rolling here. If you're too late, it'll come up sooner when you're going to roll. And if you accidentally try to roll and you store the text, then you have to go back and get storage again because it ate your storage. So don't do that. And this is kind of the dumb part of the trick that I don't like. You have to, as if you can see, it says push all chews except for one on the right side. The chews, at least to my understanding, are random when you hit them, like they just go flying somewhere. You gotta pray to God that one's on the right, because if not, this setup won't work. I know there are setups for left side, but I've never really learned one, and they're like way more finicky. So pray to God. Usually you get you're fine, and you get ones on the right, so you shouldn't really ever have the problem. But it's happened to me quite frequently recently. So if you've got bad luck, it sucks. So yeah, you want at least one on the right, and you want to proceed to push them all out. Basically, what I like to try to do, people push out differently, but I like just like rolling into them and like kind of like at a perpendicular angle to the wall. And they kind of just go out. You can use bombs to help you, like right there. And I kind of just... People have their own ways of doing it, so I'd recommend watching how other people do it too. This is how I like to do it. So I just like to, like, you know, roll into them, crawl into them at perpendicular angles to get them to go out. And then this one's really important right here. You can have a lot come over here. And you only want one. So if there's more than one, you gotta push them out, except for the one. And when there's a lot, you can like place bombs. You can like run in circles on them. They'll just kind of slowly go out. But what I like to do, again, I'd recommend watching other people, how they do it too. Multiple perspectives could help here. It was when I have the two left, I like to be very careful because if I go too hard here, sometimes I'll accidentally push both out, and that just fucks with everything, and the timing is not consistent, and you kind of YOLO it, and that's not what you want to do. So what I like to do is get on the middle of them, kind of like a little bit on the right of the chew you want to push out. You want to push out the left one, not the right one. And then, well, either you could push out either one as long as one stays in, but in this case, I like to push out the left one. So what I like to do is get on the right and then kind of go towards it with an ESS crawl at like an inward angle from the right side. So pushing it to the left from the right very slightly and slowly. And just you like slowly tap it out, and then bam, it's gone. So now you only have one, and that's what we want. So now you want to time a side hop. So what we like to do in this setup is get far away enough so that you can target the wall then, and then get close to the chew so that you can side hop into it and it'll go out of bounds. It's about this positioning. You can be a little bit left or right, it's fine. And then we want to time the side hop, and what we use to time the side hop is Deku Tree's mouth, because he's like bobbing and weaving in like a cycle. It's like consistent every time. So what we like to do is he like as he's bobbing, his mouth opens and closes. And for this specific setup that I use, and some other people use, you want to side hop when it's like he's at like, the going up and the mouth is like fully open, as seen like right there. You kind of want to side hop a little bit after this. See, I side hop like immediately after that, and that times it right. Some things is that if you're early, I always mess this up in my head, so let me see if I can think about this right. If your side hop is early, the chew will go out of bounds, because when you push them out, they kind of like slide out of bounds a little bit, then go out, like fall off. So there's a little bit of a delay. So if you go too early, the chew will go out of bounds too quickly before you can get crushed, and it'll start, and you won't get crushed when you go for the crush. It's just kind of just get pushed out of the way. And if you're too late, the chew won't go out of bounds fast enough, so that when you get crushed, the cutscene doesn't start, and you just have to redo it over again. It's stupid. There's also a scenario where you can like frame perfectly, like have it so perfect that you were early. I think it's early, but it worked. And you'll like load back in this room, and there'll be no tree. It'll be really weird, but if you just reload the area, it'll technically have worked. That's like worst, best case, I guess to say. So yeah, you time it so that one more time. I'll just show it real quick. You time it so that it's about like fully open, then side hop towards the chew, and now you're kind of on the clock. You want to time it so that you get to the chin and get crushed in the same time that this chew fully goes out of bounds and unloads and like dies, quote unquote. So this can get kind of stressful. You get used to it. It's not too bad once like you get the rhythm down. It just gets kind of scary when you mess up like certain movements and you lose precious time. So the way we start to like time this is head nods. So I like to count 6 head nods. I'll show you which one I count as the first one. And the 6th head nod is about where you want to get crushed. Some things real quick. When you go back towards this area, towards the tree, I roll 3 times, and I stop rolling immediately. I just start walking, because when you get to a certain like area, the coral text will come back up, and you don't want to store it. You want to keep your storage. Do not accidentally roll too late and eat the thing and store it. It really sucks. The run is just like, well, not dead, but the cutscene skip is dead at that point. So roll towards it. I count that as my first head nod. 2, 3, and real quick, I'm just to say I'll go through the positioning here and the angle later. I'm just gonna like explain it real quick. Get into this position, get this angle, and then if you've been counting, that's the 5th head nod. This is coming on the 6th. This is the 6th coming down, and he's gonna go up. And as he's like right here going up, I go forward, stop so that I'm under the chin. You don't want to go too far; you'll slide off. If you go too short, the chin will push you out of the way, and then so you get crushed. Bam. You can pause buffer that if you want to like make sure you're perfectly under it, but you should be fine. The window's not that bad, and you get crushed. And as you can see, if you can kind of see some weird stuff happen, you can see the cutscene was like started fading out for the cutscene, so that happened, and then you get voided out so that you're like standing here and you can hear the Koroks, and you know that you skipped the cutscene, and the leaf will be at the top, and bam, everything is nice and happy. So kind of going back to if you're too early, you won't get crushed. And you'll kind of just like show up in the water, like standing up slowly, and then you won't hear the Koroks. It'll be bad. If you're early, my bad. If you're early, the cutscene will start before you can get crushed, and the cutscene will just play. That's my fault. If you're late, then what I said will happen. You'll like, God, I always get mixed up. Basically, it won't work either way. My bad. I'm bad at explaining that part. I always get mixed up because it's like the opposite of what you think. But yeah, basically, if you're standing in the water, perfectly fine, not rising or anything, you know it works. You'll hear the cross. It's good. Now to go back to the positioning. So what you kind of want to do is you can get kind of stuck here. Like I kind of like in the video, I kind of like walked on up all nice and free. But if you go a little bit to the right or a little bit to the left, you will get like just stuck. I think this happens here. Bam, I just got stuck. So try to aim for like the middle, like right here. You like smoothly walk up. And then now what you're aiming for kind of is you want to stand about in the position of this white spot right here. You can be a little off, but like it's not insanely precise, but you kind of just want to stand here. It's important. So you get in that spot. Bam. I kind of like to make it so that like half of his, like one of his legs is inside, one of them is not. You can be a little higher up on this spot. It's still fine. This is just like what I like to go for. And then to get the angle, I see up and adjust so that this patch of grass is barely peeking on the right of the screen like that. Alright, go like that. I think if you pay attention to the video where I showed earlier, this wasn't shown. I think the camera was like right here. Like the edge was right here and you couldn't see the grass, but that still worked. It just goes to show that it's not an incredibly precise angle. You can be a little bit off. Just like that's what the visual cue that I like to use. I like to use the grass. And then 6 nod, you go forward, get crushed. Bam. Everything's nice and dandy. So yeah, that's just the hover part. And next I will go over the hover. So let's do that. Okay, hover time. So basically, you get the cutscene skip, you come back up here, and you damage down. Usually you damage down before you even do all this with the Octorock outside. You can also use your bombs here. Doesn't really matter. This hover is definitely probably, I guess, the hardest in the run of any percent, because like the only other one is like Morph hover. That's not bad. It's nice and short. I guess if you do PG skip, you do like a chain of hovers. Those are kind of annoying. So yeah, I assume you're not doing PG skip if you're learning this right now. But yeah, it's not that bad. So basically, this is like the general setup that most people use. I'll kind of explain real quick. So kind of what's explained on the text is that you kind of get in this position and target. So you're facing this like wall, I guess, this little small wall. And you can stand within a range here. With this kind of being the leftmost and this being the rightmost. Kind of explain the bottom down here. The faster and riskier you want, the more left you want to go, and the more safer you want to play, you go towards the right. But the safety comes at a cost of time. It takes a little bit longer, but I feel like if you're not the greatest masher in the world, there's no problem with just going to the right and saving yourself the trouble of just messing up the trick and kind of wasting the time you saved from doing the cutscene skip. That kind of always sucks when like you get the cutscene skip and you fail the hover. It's just like, what was the point of doing the cutscene? You get mad, you know. It's kind of annoying. So yeah. So I'd recommend going towards the right, and I'm going to show you from the right because I feel like that's kind of the point of a tutorial. You know, you want to show the nicest way. So I go towards the right, kind of line up the body, like the right part of this body of Link with like the angle, like the edge right here. And then you want to backflip twice, and then walk back a little bit. And then now, assuming I am at quarter of a heart right now, I'm using cheats, so I am at quarter of a heart. You want to be at a quarter of a heart. You place the bomb and slash it. There's some hovers where you don't want to slash it. You just wait, but this one you can just slash it, it's fine. And then you start the hover. I assume you know how to lift off and hover. Hovering is annoying sometimes. Lift off is annoying sometimes. Basically, get the hover starting, and this is where it kind of fits. What I like to think of it as like splitting the 3 phases of the hover, kind of like a fast, slow, fast type of thing. So basically, this hover is like trying to get as high as you can, using the tree and the environment to our advantage to like manipulate our position and timing, and then getting to the leaf eventually. So the first phase is like you want to mash super fast because you got to get like to a certain point of the tree before you start touching the tree. Because if you're too low, you'll just slide off the left, and it's kind of dumb. I'll kind of explain it when we get there. So basically, you just want to mash as fast as you can. As you can see, I'm not the greatest mash in the world, but I still make it because I was on the right. But when I say the bend of the tree, I don't mean this bend because that's way too low. I mean this second bend that's appearing right here, like right here. You want to try to get like either like to here or above the bend, like in this. You want to get like touch the tree like in this area. That's good. That's how high you want to get before you start touching it. So mash as fast as you can to get in this area. Very important. If you go too far right of the initial position and try to be like quote unquote safer, you'll hit this and you'll go off the right side. That really sucks if you do that. So try to stick with like the position I had is like the rightmost you go. And yeah, that you don't want to go too far right. That's bad. So basically now we're going to enter into phase 2. You basically want to stay along. You want to like ride along and grind against the tree till you get to where you want to go, without messing up. So as you hover on this, you'll kind of notice you tend to go up left if you mash slow, and kind of like less, like you go more upward if you mash fast. So you kind of want to balance a casual mash of not too slow, not too fast, because if you go too fast, you'll go just kind of more upward and slide off the right. If you go too slow, you'll go up left and you'll eventually slide off the left. So you kind of want to find a nice balance, and that's where going to the right helps. It gives you more of a leeway distance between here and there. So like if you're mashing too slow, you won't fly off the side. Very important. So yeah, you want to mash casually to a point where you just kind of stay centered on the tree, adjusting back and forth. So you're doing this, and you get to the second bend in the tree right here. It's kind of hard to see, but there's like a sharp like edge or vertex right here. I think edge. And when you get to this point, like this is where phase 3 happens. You want to slow mash position yourself so that you're on the left side of this. If you go too fast, when you get to this point, you'll go off to the right, but that's fine. You can just drop back down a little bit and start mashing again to go up left, and you'll be fine. You can fix it. So yeah, if you ever are going too fast and you realize it, you can always just stop mashing for a little bit or mash slower, fall down a little bit, reposition, and go more leftward. Don't drop too far down. That can also mess you up. You might just slide off the left eventually. But yeah, so this is phase 3, where now we're going to go back to, once you get in this position of the left side, you want to go back to fast mashing because the platform's still a little bit above you. You still have to get up there. So as you can see, once you get on that left side, you start mashing really, really fast again. If you mash faster, you can ride along that longer, and then you get here. And now you're kind of in the home stretch. You can start mashing slow again, and you kind of just want to like slowly time it so that you're above the leaf as it's sliding to the left again, and just drop right on top of it. Man, now be careful. You can miss it. You can go over it and go past it, or if the leaf is like swaying all the way to the right, it's really stupid, and you like not touch it from the top. It's kind of dumb. But yeah, you just want to time it. Make sure you're paying attention. It's not over yet. You gotta get the leaf at least, you know. So don't get too excited. Don't want to waste all the time of hovering by missing the leaf. It's really painful when that happens, and it's really stupid. So don't do that. Yeah, and that's that. And real quick, I will show an alternate setup that I used to do. Real quick. So instead of doing the position setup like last time, you can also do this. I don't do this anymore because it's safer. I think it gives you more time, and it gives you like a kind of better angle, so that you're like more on like top of the leaf, not like on the top, like not to the side of it. So you don't have to like time it as well. But it's really slow because the angle that you're riding against the tree is different, and like you have to match a lot slower to ensure that you don't go off the right and like stay in the center. It's kind of annoying. But what you do is like you target this wall, side hop left once, and backflip once, and then to get the angle, you kind of like mess around with this little triangle right here. That's about what I used to go for, and that's pretty safe. If you go further right, it's safer. If you go further left, it's harder, similar to the other one. And I think that's it. Can't really think of anything else. I'll rewatch this to make sure I covered everything. But yeah, that's it. If there's anything that's not clear, feel free to comment, tell me, or like join the Wind Waker Discord and ask questions. I'll happily take feedback. I want to know if this is good enough, and yeah, I'll try to make more of these in the future. Peace out.